When a group of American influencers toured a Chinese clothing factory recently, they probably weren't expecting their own fans, their own followers to react like this.
Shein hosted an influencers trip at their factory in China, and it's the biggest load of propaganda crap.
I cannot believe that there are people in this world that are so gullible that they would think that this is even a good idea.
Propaganda alert. How quickly do we pick up on propaganda?
And that is just a taste of the outrage after Shein, one of the largest fast fashion makers on the planet, paid for 6 online personalities to come see their factories for themselves. The headlines say it all. Influencers gas up Shein after sketchy factory tour. No slave labor here. And how do you convince people your sweatshop is cool? Pay an influencer to tour it. So, how did this PR campaign go so horribly wrong? The thing to know about Shein is that it's very famous for its massive inventory, huge turnover, and dirt cheap prices. And I'm talking like really cheap. A couple of years ago, one analytics firm pegged it as the biggest fast fashion retailer in the US, bigger than H&M, bigger than Zara. And according to Bloomberg, its sales exploded from $10 billion in 2020 to $100 billion last year. But critics say there's a cost.
Shein's cheap clothes come with a human cost as workers race to produce the up to 1,000 new items that drop on Shein's website every day.
If you're selling clothes at £4, how physically can you be doing that without somebody somewhere along the line paying for that?
An investigation by Channel 4 in the UK last year revealed that employees usually worked 7 days a week, sometimes on 18-hour shifts. There has been extensive reporting into allegations of labor law violations, the company's outsized environmental impact.
Shein launches around 3,000 to 4,000 new female apparel products every day, so it is a very huge amount.
And a new U.S. congressional report suggests fast fashion companies based in China are complicit in ethnic cleansing, making goods with forced labor. There have also been serious concerns about the actual clothing itself. A CBC Marketplace investigation found exceedingly high levels of lead in Shein's clothing. Health Canada issued a recall for a toddler trench coat with 20 times the amount of lead as to what's legally allowed in products sold in Canada.
Get ready with me to go on a brand trip with Shein.
Most fascinating thing is that I've seen the exact process of Shein clothing. I've seen how it's designed, I've seen how it's made, now I'm gonna see how it's packaged and shipped off.
I was really excited and impressed to see the working conditions.
Enter the influencers, 6 of them, all from the US, flown in by the company to tour a Shein factory.
I expected this facility to be so filled with people just slaving away, but I was actually pleasantly surprised that a lot of these things were robotic. And honestly, everybody was just working like normal, like chill, sitting down. They weren't even sweating. We were the ones sweating walking through the whole facility.
One influencer even called herself an investigative journalist and said she pressed Shein on its labor practices.
I was able to interview a woman that worked in the fabric cutting department, and you guys know me, she's an investigative journalist, so I asked her all of our questions, and she answered them honestly and authentically.
But of course, this flies in the face of years of reporting, hidden camera investigations across some of the estimated 6,000 Shein factories worldwide. What the influencers presented, critics say, was a sanitized version of what Shein actually is.
This is a PR stunt for Shein.
And Shein has sent a handful of influencers to China in what can only be described as Chinese government-funded propaganda. These influencers were taken to what I assume is their newest factory in China to gaslight into thinking that they don't have labor issues.
Did you actually think they were going to take you to the factories with child labor? Did you actually think they were going to take you to the factory where they make 4 cents a garment? Did you actually think they were going to take you to the factories that would make them look bad?
As influencers started posting about their brand trip with Shein, people were outraged, calling them out for essentially spreading misinformation.
it is propaganda. It absolutely is, but organizations and companies have been dealing in propaganda since the formation of a company. And so whether that was the printed press or television or radio, advertising and propaganda is not new. And certainly it's just being used in a new platform in a new way. So now it's influencers and social media.
Now, after facing criticism, one of the influencers doubled down.
I've seen stuff with my own two eyes. If you think it's propaganda, that's cool.
Only to then backtrack and apologize.
I should have done more research. I'm, sorry and sad that a lot of people that don't know me, are so angry and upset.
Now, we should say we did reach out to Shein, the company. They sent us a statement which said they are, quote, committed to transparency, and this trip reflects one way in which we are listening to feedback. Their position, we opened our doors and the influencers got it right. There's good reason to be skeptical of that, of course. And for now, it is the influencers, maybe more than the company itself, who are just being raked over the coals for appearing to act as Shein's personal army of PR crisis managers.
We know this story. We know how it works. We know how it goes. And so there's enough education out there for this to go wrong.